right, my man. Let's get to it.
Play.
Folks, we've got some new programming in store for you today. You are going to need, on top of your normal 2 moderate weights, 1 heavy weight is a really good idea today. So 1 good heavy weight. Maybe 2 light weights could be applicable, either or. You could use some body weight for one of our movements today. We've taken a couple things that we've done before, including that brick of movements, and we've put a mobility move into there, a cardio move, and we're going to be doing a 1-minute plank 3 times throughout the day for the next 3 weeks. So be prepared for that. I will give you an option onto that, and of course you can take breaks as you need to go, but that's something that I wanted to work into, is how we can do like a good solid 1-minute plank together a few times for each of our workouts. Beyond that, we're bringing back our 3 moves at 3 speeds, our slow, our moderate, fast stuff, and then we're also bringing back an old friend, our pyramid workout, and both of those we've added a little bit of extra time to. So we're taking everything, we're just kind of cranking it up a little bit per programming change. So beyond that, Jackson and I, as we go through it, I'll be showing you more of your manageable options through things and trying to call that out. If you got any injuries, be mindful with what you're doing. Keep yourself safe. Don't be afraid to switch something or just simply take a breather. And if you got any of your own music, now is the time to put that music on. Jackson and I are going to keep the warm-ups the same for this week. Next week, we'll do a little switch up. So we're going to stand up. We're going to have our feet together. We're going to do our big step back lunge for that world's greatest stretch. Then we'll bring the hand to the inside of the foot and rotate. Then we'll bring it down and stand up tall and switch to the top. So just working on opening, right? Think about kind of getting a hand to reach up high behind you. And of course, you're waking up balance, right? Jackson's got a little slip up here, no biggie. It's all time to warm up, everybody. Maybe shake off the rest from the day. All right, up tall, and we'll go 1 more. Find a nice breath in, nice breath out. All right, and then we stand up. Next up, we need some space to move out in front of us. We're gonna have that archer squat with a good wide stance with our legs. We're gonna sit back and down to one side and then roll onto the hands and walk it out to a plank, and then sit back and down to the next side and stand up through that heel. Okay, go ahead and switch it. Sit, walk it out to a center point for the plank, and then sit back to that next side and give yourself up nice and tall through that heel. Let's go 2 more. This is going to resemble a little bit of our mobilizer move today. So our mobilizer is going to have us kind of moving in and out from a low squat. This will get us ready for it. All right, next 2 warm-ups. We're going to start with kicking the foot into a hand, hinging forward and reaching an arm out. We'll come up tall, we'll switch the feet at the top. And as we do this, really thinking about kind of getting our extension of fingertips forward, reaching through that hand and arm. Okay, if you can, maybe you're kicking that foot into the hand a little bit more. Get some activity through the legs. And let's finish up 1 more. Hinge it forward from the hip line. Leave the knees about the same bend. And then our final warm-up brings us to the knees. We're going to go kneeling position. I'll be facing you guys here. I'm going to make sure that I've got good alignment. Jackson's got that pillow underneath to make it a little bit more comfortable for him. Opposite hand goes behind your head. You lean forward, pull the elbow back, and then we press back and we do a little opposite crunch, knee to elbow. Coming forward, breathing in, exhaling, pressing back. And remember, as you push back, you want to send your hips behind you, right? And that's going to get us our hamstring stretch here. All right, let's go ahead and switch it. Your right knee going down or vice versa. Your next foot out in front. Opposite hand behind you. Lean forward, breathe in. Exhale, press it back. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Inhale forward as we go back. Pull the toes up. And the final one. Awesome job, everybody. Those are our warm-up movements. We're going to then transition into 3 moves. We've got a mobilizer move first. We're going to have 10 seconds rest and do a cardio move to follow. We'll rest for 10, and then we will finish with a 1-minute plank. Remember, we're going to do this right now at the end of warm-ups, at the halfway point of the workout, and then right at the very end. So Jackson and I are going to start out with your Mobilizer. We're going to show you it first, and then we'll give you 10 seconds to prepare. You're going to have a good low squat position, feet extra wide. You come down to the floor, you're going to walk out to the hands bear crawl position, and then you bring your hands backwards, go crab walk with a hip press up, and then come back to center and stand up tall. So we'll go over that with you guys as we get to it. It's 40 seconds for our Mobilizer as we start. Once again, get into a good kind of wide position. Be able to work whatever low point you can. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. We bring it down. We're going to walk forward, knees right under the hips, and then we shift backwards. Okay, at the back point, we press the hips up, come back to center, and work on standing tall through those heels. Bring it down, shift forward, knees under hips is your end point, then walk it back, little hip press, back to center, and tall. Okay, practice through here. Got at least one more in you. Okay, shift it back. And then come up and stand up, 2, 1. All right, in 10 seconds, our cardio move of the day is doing a squat and a bicycle crunch at the top. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. One good squat at the top, opposite elbow, opposite knee crunch. Kind of little balanced twist at the top of things. And when you come to the top, breathe out. Good. So still thinking about kind of eyes staying up and forward through that squat. That's going to keep our spine in good alignment. All right, last few. 3, 2, and 1. Rest for a moment. Okay, now finally we're going to get into that 1-minute plank to follow from here. So I want everyone to come down on the floor. We're going to make sure we've got a good plank position. You get your choice of being on either the elbows or the hands. We're going to start in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, I'm going to go over a little visual aids on how we're going to perfect your plank. So we're going to start up a little high, and then we're going to let your shoulders sink down. Perfect. And Jackson, give me that lift again so we can show them a start point, and then the retraction of the shoulders as you come down. Good. We want to maintain this retraction of the shoulders and these lat muscles right under his armpits as kind of where he's getting power in the hold. Now you are halfway there, everybody. If you need to bend your knees to take a quick break, you are always welcome to do so. Last up, not just perfect body position, but what are we squeezing? Squeeze your butt, tuck your belly, squeeze and bring your rib cage in. You're gonna really feel that heart rate go up. Keep breathing, 10 seconds left. Your first minute plank. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Bend those knees, rest and recover. You all are officially warm. Congratulations.
I'm pretty warm after that one.
Yeah, very good, very good. I mean, a 1-minute plank hold is no joke, and we are starting you guys out at the tough spot, and that's okay. You know, even if we take breaks, it's something that we're going to learn to build up into, or we're just going to have a challenge all the way through it. All right, for our slow, our moderate, and our fast options, 3 moves at 3 speeds. We're going to be using 2 moderate weights for our first 2 exercises. So stand up with us if you'd like to practice this. We're going to start out doing a single leg deadlift with a row at the bottom. So we're going to have weights down in front of the legs. We're going to keep them there as we go into that single leg. Give me the row at the bottom. Come up tall and switch your legs on each of these. And so remember, we're going to go kind of slow. We're going to go real slow in that first round, and we're going to pick up pace as we go through that. Our second movement is a curtsey. I'd like your weights to be in front of the shoulders. Slow curtsey at the top. Bring the knee up and press the weights up. Switch the foot. Slow curtsey. Bring the knee up. Press the weights up. And that's exercise number 2. Our third and final exercise takes us to the floor. It's a real swimmer. So this is our swimmer twist that we've been adding into things, and it has exactly that. It has a little twist and turn as you go side to side. Kind of lift up one side of the body as you roll that hand back. Your more manageable option is to keep those elbows bent at your sides and to give me some W lifts. So those are our movements. Let's get ready for it. You're going to need 2 moderate weights to help you through that single leg deadlift first. We'll get started in 10 seconds, everybody. So weights in front, 1 deadlift, 1 row, and then we switch the feet. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Nice and slow, everybody, nice and slow. Now, I had mentioned that we took some familiar movements. We just added a little bit of time to things. We ticked it up just a notch. So for each of these movements, they're 5 seconds longer than they were in our previous programming. I know you guys got this in you. Getting nice and smooth. Keeping that flat back. Keeping those core muscles engaged. Eyes should be kind of looking down at the floor at the bottom, and then looking in front at the top. All right, our second movement will be a curtsey to a balanced shoulder press. We're finished here in 3, in 2, in 1. We've got 15 seconds of rest between. Second movement, I'd like you to keep those weights in front of the shoulders if possible. A curtsey to one side, nice smooth balance press at the top. In 2, in 1, sit slowly to one side, push through that heel in front. Smooth press, bring that foot down, switch your curtsey. Excellent. If you can, you're trying to have those elbows stay in front of the shoulders to go up and down through the press. Slow is the name of the game. Try to find how these different muscles of the body are being recruited in this slower movement pattern. Excellent. Jack's doing a great job of keeping that forward leg in charge of what's going on. He's got a good condensed stance too, so he's not extending himself way back. He's kind of staying a little closer in. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We finish coming to the floor, real swimmers, and then we'll transition right back into more single leg deadlifts with those rows, so be prepared. We're gonna go real swimmer, getting started in 3, in 2, in 1. You got that little twist. You try to pull that hand through. Now, more moderate option. Elbows are right against my rib cage. I'm gonna lift up and then just control coming right back down. We're gonna do that posterior lift, keeping those hands right next to the shoulder and feeling those low shoulder blades good and active. Perfect. Slow and smooth, folks. Slow and smooth. You're working some good breathing. And think as the end point of that swimmer, can you kind of reach back out with your hands again? Can you find extension into your reach? Bring that challenge level up a little bit extra. Got final few. You'll be standing back up with us in 3, in 2, in 1. That's good. Come back up. Grab your 2 weights. Single leg deadlift with a row at the bottom. We're alternating our legs through this. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. This is our normal pace, right? Normal pace, and a medium pace, whatever you want to call it. As you stand up from that single leg deadlift, get that breath out, right? When we get there, good core, and then you're tall at the top of that motion each and every time. Solid. Trying to keep that back leg straight-ish, right? Feel the heel and feel your butt as this leg kicks behind you. Last few finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Keep those weights. Next up is the curtsey with the balanced shoulder press. Weights are going to stay in front of us. Remember, medium pace or normal pace. 3, 2, 1. Practice coming up. Switch the foot at the top. And keep those elbows in front of you. Good. We continue to get that nice breath out to accentuate being at the top of this, right? Gotta really find it, breathe it out, feel good. After this, we'll go down to the floor for those real swimmers. 10 seconds till we get there. Once again, great condensed stance by Jackson. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Weights go down. We face the floor. Real swimmers are next. Or that W option. We'll get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Jackson's got that rotation and kind of that pull through. I've got that option of keeping the W position with the arms, lifting the top half of the body, and then just coming back down. Once again, medium pace for this. And our following up, we're going to start kind of taking up that speed one more notch to our finish line. Got less than 20, folks, less than 20. Focus in. Keep your breathing consistent, please. I know this can be one of those moves where we hold it. Keep breathing. Last few. Let's go finish up in 3, in 2, in 1. Grab your weights, stand up. This time we're adding a touch of speed into it and try and do our movements semi-fast. Single leg deadlifts with a row in 2, in 1. Down to the bottom, one good row, bring it up, switch it over. Good, so think about kind of activity here. Back leg should be straight and strong. Back muscles, feel them and think about them being active right here. Of course, if you're falling over a bit, just take a moment. 3, 2, 1. Second movement, curtsey to balanced shoulder press. Weights are going to be in front of you. Our speed once again has gone up in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, it doesn't mean you're working at breakneck speed, but it does mean that you've added a little bit to what you did in that previous round. Good. Stay condensed, right? We don't need a huge step backwards. And if we can keep condensed, there's more power in that forward leg to drive us up. Yes, love it. We got less than 10, last few. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Weights go down. We come to the floor. Real swimmers. W option. 3, 2, 1. Okay, find that pace now. Find that pace. Find that breathing. Love it, Jackson. Love it. Find consistency in that breath, folks. We got ourselves about 15 seconds here. Jackson doing all sorts of twisting and turning down here. He's a wild man out there on his board. Last few, last few. We go finished up in 3, in 2, and rest.
Oh,
woo!
Oh, man.
Max, 3 speeds. It's good. Feels good. Woo! Nicely done, everybody. Now, I wasn't lying when I said this workout was going to be ticked up just a little bit. Stay with us. Of course, take breaks as you need. And we're going to get into that middle brick portion of doing our mobilizer, doing our cardio movement, and our 1-minute plank. And we're going to do that in 30 seconds time. Okay? Hydrate if you need it. Get prepared. We're going to be standing up and working to the low squat as we walk forward and walk back in about 20 seconds time. All right, get set into a good position. 10 seconds, we go low squat and walking forward and back in 3, in 2, in 1. Walk it out. Bear crawl position is your end point. Then walk it back. Little hip press at the top. Back to center and standing tall. Good. Find those heels through the up and down right here. Then shift onto the hands at the very bottom. Little hip press from the crab walk. And back up. Bring it all back. Little hip press. Back tall. Okay, last little bit. We go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We've got 10 seconds of rest. Your cardio is next. This is your squat to your bicycle crunch. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Give me one good squat at the top. Kind of good, quick, powerful crunch. Good, so find your rhythm with this. If you can push tempo, that is the goal. This is our cardio exercise. So push some tempo, use those heels, and get that heart rate going north, folks. Awesome. Slow it down if you need to. Don't add the depth if you need that as some options. Final few, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Last up, come to the floor, plank position. We've got a 1-minute plank coming up. 3, 2, 1. Show me the shifting down of those shoulder blades so we get into that good flat back. All right, perfect. Now, if your neck feels really tense and tight, just shake out your head a little bit. We can find a little relief through some movement up there. Your butt tight, your belly tight. Jackson, I say butt up a little bit. There we go, there we go. And I'm gonna say even right side lift up a little bit. Other way. There we go, there we go. All right, 30 seconds into this. Remember, you can always bend your knees and take a quick break. If you need to, that's okay. And then you come back up and you keep fighting with us. Folks, we got 20 seconds remaining. 20 seconds. You're breathing, you're smiling. It is a good day today. Last few 10 seconds to your finish line. And we go finished up in 3, in 2, and rest. Bend those knees, rest, recover. You are more than halfway done with this thing, everybody. It is a good high five time. Woo!
Woo, Sean!
You guys are bringing it today. I love it. And we're not even at the fun stuff yet. The pyramid of power is back, and it's more dangerous than ever. I will not kill you guys. So maybe you go body weight on this one if you're really feeling pumped at this point. If you're feeling good and like you're ready for more workout, light weights is probably what's best for this first movement on our pyramid of power. Now, like our pyramid stuff before, we're going to start at a really high point, which would be our base. We're going to work our way up to really short increments with 6 exercises. We'll take a small breather, and then we'll reverse that coming back down our pyramid. Okay, 1:15, a minute 15 is going to be our total for our first exercise, so we've added some time to that. Our first movement is a squat position, hands down at your sides. You do a normal squat, and when you come up, you take those arms nice and wide. You meet the hands at the top, and we're really trying to kind of do a fanned position with our shoulders right here. We do this often when we work on shoulder mobility, right? And so this is part of this, is it is a mobilizer of the shoulders while we're knocking out some squats. Minute 15 of that movement is where we start. Our second movement is a step back lunge with a turn and a press. This is weight optional, but maybe one moderate weight is best for this movement. We're going to do the stepping lunge on both sides. We're going to start by stepping back to 1, turning to the forward leg, extending the weight, bringing it back in, and standing up. Switching through that at the top every time. All right, third movement is going to be single-sided, and this is where I'd like you to have that heavy weight. This is our oblique swing, or as Jackson and I like to call it around here, the Ben Bruno move. The Ben Bruno move. So we're going to start with our right leg back, because we're going to start on our right side, opening the weight to the right and controlling it coming back down to center. You're going to keep the eyes on the weight, and you're always going to bring it right back down slowly to that leg in front. We'll do one side only for 45 seconds, and then we'll bring it down to the floor. Bring it down to the floor. Grab a moderate weight that you can pass between your legs, and it is a V-shaped position, kind of cycling the knees in and out and passing that weight between them. Option could be having those heels to the floor and kind of working through the legs at that point. Fifth movement, you're on your back, you're keeping that moderate weight in your right hand. You've got that scissor kick going on through here. All right, and then after that, our final movement turns us around, puts us onto our belly. We do our Superman lift, and we pulse it at the top for 15 seconds. All right, we'll count you guys through that. We'll show you as we're going along. What I need you to have is definitely a heavyweight option, a moderate weight option, and maybe even some lightweight options if you're feeling saucy. All right, that's enough of me talking. You guys got 10 seconds, you get moving through here. First up is that squat and the fan arm lift. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. One good squat. Reach up high at the top of that. All right, so as a part of this movement, we've got mobility, right? So we're reaching up high, opening, and we're fanning those arms wide as we come back down. Jackson's also doing a tremendous job of working on his depth of squat here, right? What an opportunity. Today has really been a squat heavy workout, but it's also been helping us work on the depth of the squat. And part of this is it's a big mobilizer in the body. Opens the hips, opens the knees, opens the ankles. Good. You stand up, you breathe out. You feel your core, find and feel that. You got a little less than 30 seconds. All right, 20 seconds remaining, folks. Lift high, reach up. Last little bit. After this movement, we're gonna grab a moderate weight. There we go, my man. Last few, folks. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Grab a single moderate weight. Our second movement is the step back lunge. Turn, press, and bring it back up. We will alternate the legs on each side. Starting in 3, in 2, in 1. Rotate, press, stand back tall, turn, then press, and stand back tall. Now, Jackson does a great job of this after we've been working on it, which is keeping this step back a little more condensed. We were talking about this with the curtsey. He's going to make sure by doing that, he's not really extending that leg back too far. One thing that you'll notice, and maybe you can see on here, is that his knee will travel a little further on that toe line. That's okay. That's okay. As long as he can still utilize that heel in front, as long as he can feel and use that heel, then his form is good on this. Okay, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. After this, we'll have our Ben Bruno oblique swing. Finish up in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, either a moderate weight, which you may have, or a heavy weight is more personal trainer recommended, shall we say. You'll have your right foot behind you, your left foot there. Lift and rotate. 2, 1. Okay, a little lift with small hold before you slowly bring it back down to center. And one side only. This is meant to be a burner for those side abs. Find them, feel them. There you go, my man. Now, try not to get too neck intense. See if you can keep a little bit more of that middle back, that lower shoulder blade activity going on. And of course, we're working balance here. That forward leg is your balance, it is your power. 10 seconds remaining. Solid. After this, we're going to go down to our floor on our butt in 3, in 2, in 1. If you got a heavy weight, you can keep it or you can switch it out. We're going to be passing between the legs. Maybe a moderate weight is your better fit. V-shaped position between the leg passes. We're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1. So as we're here, I want that chest up, right? Think about kind of that sternum point being lifted upwards. That's going to give your spine no choice but to straighten up, kind of lift behind you. As a moderate option, we can keep those heels to the floor. We can pass that weight between the legs like so, and we got last 10. After this, we'll be flat on our back with the weight in our right hand only. In 3, in 2, in 1. Go flat onto your back. Okay, your right hand is holding the weight just above the floor. Eyes are up. Straight leg kick. 3, 2, 1. You're holding there. Maybe the head lightly lifted from the floor, but eyes staying up at the ceiling. Your left arm straight out. Active through that left arm, kind of kicked out there. Good breathing. We got less than 10. After this, we're going to turn around, go onto our bellies. 3, 2, 1. Turn around onto your bellies, arms stretched out. It's a Superman hold with some pulses. 3, 2, 1. All the way up with some light pulses, or W position with light pulses as well. When you lift up, breathe out. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Rest, recover. Woo!
Oh, man.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a core burner.
Go, everybody. Go, go, go. Now, the great part about this is we're only halfway through it. You still got one more opportunity. Life is full of good surprises sometimes. I don't know how much of a surprise it really was, though. Hydrate, folks. Hydrate. One more opportunity today. The pyramid, right? We're on top. We went higher than usual. So the view, I mean, it's summertime. We got all the animals in the savannah running around. Things are looking cool around here. All right, that's enough of my banter. Get flat to your stomach. 10 seconds and you get going. It is going to be at your Superman pulse or your W pulse. 15 seconds. Get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Light pulse. As you pulse up, breathe out. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Turn around, grab your weight, put it in your left hand. Straight leg scissor kick, weight above the floor. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Okay, eyes are looking straight up. You can make that a big kick, get a lot more out of it. And that right arm extended and straight, active and strong. Got 10 seconds here. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Sit upright, V-shaped position. Passing that weight between the legs next. Beginning in 3, in 2, in 1. So once again, chest high, kind of lift it. And then smooth as those knees bend to help you go side to side with that weight. Heels could stay on the floor as that option here. Jackson's got kind of a quick breath in and out. This is fantastic. I like this. When we're hitting more of those exertion points, quick breaths is going to keep you well oxygenated. After this, we're going to stand for a heavy weight. 2, 1. Stand up. Grab your heavy weight or your moderate weight. We're going to be opening to the left side, right foot in front. Got that weight. You're going to do a little hold at the top and a slow release back down. In 3, in 2, in 1. Rotate, slow return back down. That weight is in that forward leg. Nice and challenging into that forward leg. Right, and then once again, not too intense into the neck. A little neck, fine, so be it. But I want that middle back to take over more of that hold. There we go. The breathing is steady, the movement is smooth. Once we finish this, we'll have a moderate weight and do those step back lunges with a turn and a press. We finish here in 3, in 2, in 1. Stand up. If you need to switch out your weight, do so. Moderate weight is a good idea. Heavy weight means you're bumping it up one more notch today. Step back lunge, turn and press. 3, 2, 1. Turn, press, stand, switch. All right, excellent. Take a look at Jackson and I. We keep our legs a little closer together, and that's going to be more of that condensed stance I keep talking to you about today. Always that heel in front, helping to bring us back up. Okay, we've got about 20 seconds remaining here. This is when things get a little longer, when we're requiring a little extra exerted effort to make it through. You got about 10 seconds remaining. Okay, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Lose the weight or go light weights from here. You've got your squat and your fanning overhead reach with those hands. It is 1:15 to finish out your pyramid. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Gotta find that motion. Reach up, fingertips straight on up, so we're stretching some palms out. Yeah. We're thinking about the motion of that shoulder, right? We're going wide through that lift up and down. There we go, there we go. Good breathing. And maybe a good pace. As we get right towards the end of this, you might be tired, but we're right at the tail end. So I'm going to ask you for that push if you got it in you, folks. Good. That pushing through the heel, that breathing out at the top. And we've got ourselves 30 seconds to finish line right here. 30 seconds. Push and pace, push and tempo if it's in you. There we go. Feeling those shoulders getting a little burned now. Feel those lats as you pull the arms back down. Utilize them. 10 seconds remaining. Last few. Focus in. Finish in 3, in 2, in 1. Nicely done, everybody. That is a great time to high five somebody. Like we talked about in a previous video, if you've got pets that you can high five, you have used your time efficiently during COVID. Marie, we're all looking at you right now. 40 seconds. In 40 seconds, we're going to go through that last brick. The Mobilizer, the cardio, and wrapping up with that 1-minute plank today. So you got less than 30. We're going to be going into a low squat and doing that forward and back walk as our mobilizer first. Okay, folks, 10 seconds we will start. Low squat, walking onto the hands, beginning in 3, in 2, in 1. Bring it down, control it forward, bear crawl position, walk it back, little hip press up. And then back to center and stand. Good. Practice through this. Find that hip press up. Back to center. Heels get you up. Good. Do at least one more here. Got about 10 seconds remaining. Coming up nice and tall. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Second up is our cardio. Hands behind your head. Squat the opposite crunch at the top. We begin in 3, in 2, in 1. This is 40 seconds right here. Okay, you come up. This is the end. This is a cardio movement. Push tempo if it's in you. Think intensity through the squat and that crunch. Now, if you're just making it through, you just work on keeping good form right now. If you're at your end of your rope, you just give me control to that finish. If you're feeling good, you give me push to that finish. 10 seconds left, everybody. There's the breathing. That's the pace. We go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, the worst part of it all is you're not done. You got a 1-minute plank. Everybody down to the floor. 1-minute plank to finish in 3, in 2, in 1. Holding ourselves into a good straight line. Using those lat muscles, pulling them down and in, pulling the arms right against the ribs. Okay, eyes should be looking down at the floor. Butt should be tight. Belly should be tight. And you are hitting your zone, ladies and gentlemen. Focus in. The pain is only temporary. All right, Jackson, I say butt up just a little bit, my man. And give me that shoulder sink. Bingo, bingo. That's where we want you. I'm even gonna pull this hip up again. Yeah, there we go. 20 seconds, last little bit. Can you fight your way to that end? Can you give me every last bit of effort you got into this plank? 10 seconds remaining. And we go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Bend those knees, rest and recover. High five somebody around you. If you ain't got anybody around you, Jackson, let's send them out some good high fives through there. All right, very good. Hey, well done, everybody. Lie down on your back once you've hydrated yourself. Be very proud of what you just accomplished. Next level. You guys keep pushing. You're getting COVID stronger each and every day, I feel like. All right. So allowing that belly breathing to become more present. Allowing the fingertips to reach overhead a little further, extending that stretch. Okay, and then that right leg coming up, hands behind that right leg. Let's do a little bit of foot motion at the top. Let's keep those neck muscles relaxed. Folks, I'm very proud of you today. Not an easy workout by any means. Hopefully we're all feeling some sore core muscles tomorrow. Really kind of hammer home the good work you did today. Well, I think we teased this in one of our previous episodes. Coffee. We're going to talk about coffee today. Coffee talk with Sean and Jackson. All right, go ahead and bring that leg a little across. And so we are going to talk about coffee and kind of the good and the bad of it. And it is certainly one of those where it has, some really, really great qualities, and it has some qualities that can break us down and kind of make us age faster in that. So let's talk about that. For Americans, coffee is a pretty normal thing. Let's go ahead and bend the knee, get into your twist next, and then just hold it there and get back into that belly breathing. It's a daily routine for a little bit more than half of all Americans. Jackson made a good point earlier of saying that the rest of the world runs more so on tea, and I think that he's kind of right about that. The average American drinks 3 cups of coffee a day. Once again, that is 3. It makes me feel good. Sometimes I think like my coffee consumption is a little out of whack. So if you're at 3 or even a little bit more a day, just know that you're kind of sitting right in that average. You're not even that high. It makes me worry about who's on the high end though, too. I don't know how much coffee's going into those bodies. The good, it is full of antioxidants. Coffee is super full of antioxidants. Let's go ahead and switch it over. Let's bring that left leg up. Give me that straight leg. In fact, they were saying in one of these studies that more than half Americans get the majority of their antioxidants consumed daily from having coffee. And it wasn't that was necessarily a good thing.
Oh my God.
Thank you for reading between the lines there, Jackson. Very good. Also some good with coffee. There's a lot of good, actually. I've got a lot of things to read to you. But it's got some small amounts of good micronutrients in our bodies, some B vitamins, some magnesium, some potassium. Caffeine has some brain boosting capabilities. It boosts our metabolism. Caffeine can boost metabolism by up to 3 to 11%. And it can boost exercise performance by 11 to 12%. And usually when they're doing those studies on exercise performance, it's the equivalent of at least 3 cups of coffee in a given day. So for those of you who are more consistent caffeine drinkers, it can have a really good ability to help your body recover and be able to work out harder in the moment with exercise. Let's get into the twist. Bend the knee, open up to that opposite side. Once again, belly breathing if you can here, folks. Even with us talking about coffee, I know that gets some of us excited. So here's a bunch of random studies that basically go over a lot of belief and statistics and data that are showing that like coffee drinking is having really good effects in minimizing what our long-term issues can be. So studies have shown that coffee drinkers have up to 65% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's. They also have a 32 to 60% lower risk of developing Parkinson's. Basically, they found in both those that the more coffee people drink, the lower their likelihood was. Let's unwind ourselves and get into our butterfly stretch to follow. Caffeine makes us more alert. And with that more alertness, it comes kind of that brain boosting effect, right? All of a sudden we're paying closer attention to things, maybe seeing more details in what's going on around us. It improves mood, reaction time, vigilance, and general cognitive function. So a lot of good things can come out of it. How about like type 2 diabetes? Those who are consistent coffee drinkers have a 23 to 67% reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. They also have a significantly lower risk of developing cirrhosis or liver cancer, so that does a really good job of helping your liver out. Let's go ahead and switch into our half kneeling position to follow from here. So let's have your left knee down, your right foot out in front. We'll bring your left hand up into the air. Get a little butt squeezing on that left side going on. And then you guys just get that breathing going. Nice big inhale. Nice long exhale through there. Studies have also shown that people who drink coffee are at lower risk of becoming depressed and are significantly less likely to be suicidal. Let's go ahead and bring that arm down, bring that leg across, and drop down into that pigeon pose. And then last up, this was the topper. I loved this one. Some studies demonstrate on average coffee drinkers live longer than non-coffee drinkers. The strongest effect is seen at 4 to 5 cups per day. Folks, I'm not recommending that you drink 4 to 5 cups a day, and we're going to go over some of the bad and why I don't think that's necessarily the greatest idea. But showing you that, a lot of studies have shown some pretty, at minimal, some pretty positive correlation to important things. Let's bring ourselves up. Let's go ahead and switch to having the right knee down into that half kneeling position. Left foot out in front. We're going to bring that right arm up into the air. You're going to squeeze your right butt. You're going to breathe. You're going to smile. Keep on working through here, folks. Last little bit. You owe it to yourself to do some good stretching at the end of this as well. The bad, well, because it ramps you up, coffee, it also has an increased ability to spike your anxiety. It can disrupt sleep patterns. Go ahead and bring the hand down, bring the leg across, and get into your pigeon pose. And so one of the things that it blocks adenosine in our brain, adenosine receptors, and adenosine is a hormone that is released over time throughout the day, and it's basically how we feel tired and how we go to sleep at the end of the day. Well, caffeine blocks those receptors. So it's really easy to disrupt your sleep patterns, especially if you're drinking coffee later in the day and those caffeine molecules aren't kind of being flushed out of the system over time, at least not an appropriate amount of time. Come on up. Let's get into a comfortable seated position. We'll do a little bit of neck work to wrap up our day. Caffeine is also addictive, right? So I think all of us, if you don't know it directly, we know somebody who does have a caffeine addiction, and there's withdrawals associated with that. And kind of the main withdrawal that you get off caffeine is headaches, pretty consistent headaches for a few weeks after you're a pretty consistent long-term user. We also build tolerance to coffee over time too. And so it doesn't work as well as those early times. Although sometimes that's a good thing. I remember being real jittery in the beginning when I drank some coffee. If you need to, after a few neck rolls, you're welcome to kind of stretch out your wrists, stretch out your forearms. I want to touch on decaf real quick. Decaf is decaffeinated because it is rinsed in solvents and chemicals that basically dissolve away the caffeine and parts of the kernel. And so, you're getting a product that has been kind of washed with chemicals, and I'm not really a big fan of that. B, in that process, it also minimized it dissolved a lot of the antioxidants within there and a few of those micronutrients that are a part of it. So decaf coffee, not really a great answer for too many of us. And then watch what's added when you order from somewhere else and there's some flavors into there. Chances are it's got some added sugars, and we know sugars being added into our food is really not like one of the healthiest things you can do. Last up, coffee is about 95% inorganic, non-organic throughout the world. Coffee is one of the most heavily pesticide crops throughout the world. And so I do think there's a lot of value in saying that organic coffee sounds like something I would rather put in my body as opposed to non-organic. You have anything to add?
I think it's important for people, so this adds on to the added sugars thing. I think it's important for people to enjoy black coffee, as hard as that is at first. And I know it's a mixed bag. We're gonna get a bunch of hate mail for that one, but
I'm hating on it already.
But I think it's really important to find the flavor in black coffee.
I like that. That's kind of like going back to like savoring food for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And black coffee is bitter, and so usually bitter flavors are healthier for us, right? And that would be probably some of that antioxidant within there. Well, very good, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to your new programming. We will see you all very, very soon.